bringing you key insights, tips, and advice from the brightest minds in the Canadian franchising industry. This is the Franchise Canada Chats podcast. Welcome to the Franchise Canada Chats podcast, where we take you into the world of franchising. Our interviews are with franchisors, franchisees, and industry leaders who give on-the-post expert advice and insights. I'm your co-host Trisha, and this is the final episode of Season 2. This is episode 21. I know, don't be sad though, because we got to interview the incredible Josh Robinson, who is the Vice President of Licensing and Development at Pearle Vision. And to give you a little insight, wink wink, yes, into what Pearle Vision's all about, Pearle Vision was founded in 1961 by Dr. Stanley Pearle, and it was about creating this one-stop shop for total eye care. And they've been franchising since the 80s, so they've got a ton of franchise locations throughout North America. We talked to Josh about this, and we also talked to him about his background with Dunkin' Brands and what led him to his current role, what sets Pearle Vision apart, especially their support system, why it's different from other brands, his top advice for anyone looking to invest in the system, and as usual, a whole lot more. But before we get into this great episode, we just want to send a quick thank you to all our guests this season. Thank you, and to all our listeners. Thank you for tuning in every week to learn about franchising and business ownership. We hope you learned a whole lot, and we can't wait for Season 3. It's been a pleasure. So without further ado, here's our episode with Josh Robinson.
Hi Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
We're doing pretty good. So, we just want to know what you were doing before you got into Pearle Vision. What was your career before that?
All right, I'll tell you about my career. But first, I want to apologize to your listeners because I have that funny New York accent, so hopefully you could understand what I'm saying. But with that, before Pearle Vision, I actually worked for a brand called Dunkin' Brands. Spent close to 18 years there, and I worked in franchising, development, and operations, and spent the majority of my time in operations. And I could tell you, I've had every single job you could think of, from starting off as a opening specialist, working my way to district manager, to director, to senior director. And my last gig with Dunkin' Brands was leading the team out west with Baskin-Robbins. So the fun part of that job was having all the ice cream in the world that you wanted to eat, and it was my favorite ice cream. And of course, mixed that with Dunkin' Donuts. That was a pretty cool mix. So put on a few pounds while working at Dunkin' Brands.
What's your favorite ice cream from Baskin-Robbins?
Winter white chocolate. You get it during the holidays. It is yummy.
Oh, I'll try.
How about yourself? Now, have you experienced a Baskin-Robbins ice cream?
I have, yes. My favorite is chocolate mint. I like to go classic with that. And then when I was younger, I don't know if it was cotton candy or one of those rainbow flavored ones, but I always go for the chocolate mint.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I know you guys have Tim Hortons, and that is, but don't tell anyone, don't tell my friends from Dunkin' Donuts, but this is my favorite donut going to Tim Hortons. They're actually fantastic.
Medium, yeah.
Do you have a favorite donut from Tim Hortons, or is it their coffee you like?
I like the honey glazed, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Good choice.
That's good.
So
yeah, you could tell I'm a foodie. I have over 30 years working, quite frankly, in the food service industry. So I absolutely love fast food. That's for sure.
So what made you go into Pearle Vision then?
You know, I have passion for brands I have an emotional connection to. So, you know, when you think about Baskin-Robbins, and I remember my parents taking me there when I was a kid. Everyone knew about Dunkin' Coffee, and I even had a job working at Burger King. I just love that type of food. But at Pearle Vision, I will tell you, I had an emotional connection because that's where I got my first pair of glasses. And being a goofy kid at 13, and, you know, and hearing the news that I would have to wear glasses, I remember walking in that store with my parents. And the doctor was so nice to me, and the associates that were putting on glasses for me just actually made me feel comfortable, and I actually felt cool with my new pair of glasses walking out of a Pearle Vision. So when I had the opportunity, yeah, it was pretty cool. And when I had the opportunity, or when I got the phone call about Pearle Vision, I wanted to hear more. And I did not realize at that particular time that they franchised. And that's, my background is heavy into franchising. So I wanted to learn more. I developed that emotional connection. And then I spoke to several of the franchisees that were out there. And I just connected with the brand right away.
And you're in the franchise development at Pearle Vision?
Yeah, that is correct. I started off working in operations, and I was the zone vice president when I first started, then became vice president of field operations. And then last year I was asked to take over licensing and development. So my job is to help Pearle Vision grow. And I truly believe I have the best job in the company because I put people into business. So seeing someone that is looking to get into business based on my background in franchising, I'm able to help them navigate through that and tell them about the features and benefits of joining a system like Pearle Vision.
What kind of skills do you kind of need to do your job? Would you say there was like anything, I guess it's like a two-part question, something from you have so much experience in franchising. Is there anything that's, I guess, helped you that you've carried over to this current position?
Yeah, I will tell you, one of the things when I first started was I was also a franchisee of Carvel. And what I learned from working at, and again, all my favorite foods, right? But what I learned from working at Carvel is really understanding the numbers and understanding process and systems. So when you come into business, it is critical that you absolutely understand the numbers, and that's the profit and loss statement. And also understanding the process and system that you're buying into. The reason why we go into business or we look at a franchisor is that you're buying into a process and system. And Carvel was around for a number of years. Being an owner-operator, you understand about top-line sales, but what's more important to a franchisee, an owner-operator, is the bottom line, what type of money they're putting into the bank. And so it allowed me, while walking into stores, to really have the a deep conversation with franchisees, understanding where the opportunities were, and then figuring out what levers we could pull to drive bottom line profitability, as well as driving top line, but critical that we drive bottom line performance.
And you said that you work quite a bit with franchisees and people who want to open their own Pearle Vision. What does Pearle Vision look for in their franchise partners?
Someone that absolutely understands the value of a process and system. And so you have many entrepreneurs that are out there that are looking for a business, but the ones that I find that are most successful understand what they're buying into. So at Pearle Vision, we've been around since 1961. We have a proven operating system. And so when franchisees recognize that's the path for them, they need to embrace that. It makes their life so much easier. And then also understanding, everyone says, hey, Josh, what's the secret sauce in reference to operating a business? It really boils down to the people that you hire and train. And so making sure that you have the right people in play. So, and you probably heard this statement before, many of our franchisees or franchisees I have met and spoken to outside of Pearle, they get caught up working in their business, not on their business. And so when you're working on your business, you could actually scale the number of units that you have. And here at Pearle Vision, not only do you have a process and system that you're buying into, but our model is scalable. And so being scalable means that we have a full service supply chain that allows you to focus on your business. You don't have to meet all those different vendors that come into your locations on a daily basis. It really allows you to go narrow and deep, focusing on the patient, the consumer walking through that door. That truly helps in making a business extremely successful when, one, you understand the process system, two, you focus on the people, three, that you work on the business, not in the business. And again, I see so many people working in their business. I think that's great for them, but you'll never be able to scale it.
We spoke to someone like last or a couple of weeks ago that was mentioning something about that, like the difference between working on your business and in your business is like really important, because a lot of people do get caught up in like doing the day-to-day things and they forget about the bigger picture. So is that something you guys train your potential franchisees on, or is that something you automatically kind of look for,
That is absolutely something that we do train our franchisees when, for example, when you do join Pearle Vision, and you probably heard this statement, I even hate saying it because I know everyone says it, but be in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. But we have a team of people that are going to support our franchisees. And so we have business consultants that are assigned to each franchisee that will be in your store, that will take a look at your P&L. They'll take a look at, obviously the standards. They'll take a look at the doctor side of the business, and then they'll take a look at your operations and the structure. And they will coach and counsel you on things that you should be doing. And it's a two-way conversation. So there are value adds. So I remember when you heard me talk about I was a franchisee at Carvel, the consultant would walk in, and I was looking for that two-way communication. I really never got it. I always got the checklist of things I was doing wrong, but not explained. These business consultants at Pearle Vision, when they walk in, they really put meat on the bone. There's a two-way communication on how we could drive a franchisee's profitability. That's my background coming from the franchise industry, is when these business consultants come in, this is the influence that the Pearle Vision leadership team has with our consultants. They want to make sure that we're driving franchisees' profitability. And so we're trying to figure out what levers we could pull and how we could help them grow. We have to understand, what is their plan? And the business consultants will put on business plans. They do quarterly reviews. They do standards checklists. They will review and help train their employees, help recruit as well. And so it really allows, and now with our full service supply chain icon, it's allowing our franchisees to grow to multiple locations.
Yeah. So like who typically comes to you guys and it's like, I want to buy a Pearle Vision franchise. I want to invest in this. What kind of person?
Okay, great. Actually, that's a great question, because many people, when they think of Pearle Vision, they believe they need to be a doctor. And the answer is, yeah, we definitely take the doctors, and 50% of our owners are doctors. But what people don't realize is you could be an investor. And so even people like myself, like Josh, that have a food service background, they actually make very good franchisees. We're getting a lot of people from the retail sector that is looking at Pearle Vision and investing in Pearle Vision, because you could sublease the doctor, you can employ doctors in certain regions, and it's me and my team getting the word out saying, hey, we have that process and system in place. We've been around, you heard me talk about, since 1961. We started franchising in 1981, but we have that process and system in place that allows someone that does not have that optical background to actually do very well.
Do you look for people that actually have a business background? No, you look for anybody. It doesn't really matter what kind of background you have, I suppose.
Well, I think there's no doubt in my mind, I like to cast a bigger net, but having some business background absolutely helps. Coming from some type of industry, whether it's retail or food service, absolutely helps. But even those doctors that are fresh out of school are doing extremely well with Pearle Vision.
And just going to backtrack here about 50 or 60 years. You said, so Pearle Vision was started in 1961, and you guys didn't start franchising until 1981?
Yeah, we started franchising in 1981. So Dr. Stanley Pearle, we were founded by Dr. Stanley Pearle back in 1961. And his vision has always been, back then, was to get the doctor and the optician together. Under one roof. And so he was very innovative in reference to putting that together under one roof and making sure we offer best-in-class doctor care with unmatched customization on the retail side, looking at frames and lenses. So he started franchising in 1981.
And where did he start the business originally?
Savannah, Georgia. And we just recently had a summit in Savannah, Georgia, where we invite all our franchisees together. It was actually one of the best summits that we had at Pearle Vision. So kudos to the team that put that together for Pearle. And the franchisees absolutely loved it. And so we got in touch with our roots.
And so you're obviously in the U.S. and you're in Canada. Are you guys anywhere else internationally?
We have over 500 locations. We're located in the North America. We have locations in U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Are there any future other expansion plans? other than those?
Yeah, I mean, well, right now that's where we're concentrating in reference to our expansion plans, and we truly believe we could double in size during the next 5 years. And Canada is a big part of that. I mean, we just see that as a huge opportunity for us.
Mm.
How difficult was it to start franchising in Canada from the US? Was it pretty similar, or did you find the process?
You know, I think each market is different, so I don't want to say it's the same, and then people get offended when I say it is the same, but it's unique. I will tell you that. So we just started now franchising once again in Canada. We have over 60 company-operated stores, 13 franchise locations, and you know we have put together plans in play in reference to what the rollout will look like and concentrate on certain markets.
Very cool.
Do you find it even from province to province or from state to state, you have to adjust your marketing plan or your franchise plan depending on the state or province?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have a whole team that helps us understand the province or state and what are some of the regulations in reference to those particular areas, specifically with the franchisees, and whether or not they could sublease a doctor, employ a doctor, and so you have to take a look at the regulations as you go forward.
For sure.
I know so many, you've so many franchisees, I guess, because you're in U.S. and in Canada, blah blah blah. I'm not blah blah blah, but you have a lot.
That sounds like a Seinfeld show. Blah 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 blah.
But so like, how do you bring them all together? Like, you guys have this once a year summit. Are there like do they have opportunities to connect? I guess over the like maybe the internet or something. And is there something that they like a group that people can connect with to get support? Like, how do other franchisees?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you know, one of the things that's important, and when I talked about, you know, you have a team of people supporting, you have the business consultants, you have the field marketing managers assigned to our franchisees. We have onboarding specialists, we have training specialists out there, but we get together, even the leadership team that I'm on, we get together on a all franchise call, and that whether that's franchisees or corporate. On a quarterly basis. The business consultant has quarterly meetings as well as individual meetings and regional meetings with their particular area. The field marketing manager actually sits down with them on a quarterly basis to go over the marketing plans. And obviously the online training and the online info that we send out to our franchisees is always available for them as well. So communication is the key. There's no doubt about it. We want to hear from our franchisees. We want to understand what's working. Quite frankly, we want to understand what's not working so we can make adjustments as we go forward. And so it's critical for us that we're communicating with our franchisees at all times.
Do you have a franchisee advisory board? It sounds like
that. We do. And so when you do join Pearle Vision, we have an advisory board that's made up of franchisees that elect, representatives in certain areas. So each business consultant has a NFAC leader, and they work with that NFAC leader in their region to understand what are the opportunities and what's working and discuss best practices. And then there's a national franchise advisory council that works with the leadership team. And again, it's communication going back and forth on how we're doing and what can we do better. And understanding what are the opportunities, and then also talking about the plans for the future. It's critical to have that support from the NFAC and to listen to our franchisees. And we have done a very good job, I would tell you, listening to our franchisees. And at times you don't always agree, but everyone understands we have the best interests of our franchisees at hand. And we listen to the NFAC as far as maybe example, some of the adjustments on refreshes and remodels that we put out there. And we work together on a similar goal of growing this company and growing franchisee profitability.
That's really, really cool that you guys have that in place. I think because a lot of people
critical.
They might think like, the process is important. There's a system in place and you just kind of follow it like a sheep. But it's kind of good to know that you can have your input, you can have your say. So it's like a two-way, thing going on there. And I think that makes it a lot better for potential franchisees. It's cool. Yeah.
I think, I appreciate you saying that. I think it makes us stand out from all the rest that are out there as well, that we have this advisory board and that we listen to our franchisees. And we work together. So it's interesting to me, even when, I talk about Pearle Vision and the reasons why you want to believe. One of the things I learned was having franchisee ambassadors really speak about the brand. So it's great when Josh says it, or remember my team says it, but when I have a franchisee standing right next to me, and they're talking about their roadmap on, joining the company and things for them to share as far as best practices on what to do, what not to do, and how to get prepared, it's a win-win. And our franchisees know that we want to grow this brand.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And they want to be a part of that.
Do you have any advice for prospective franchisees when they come on board on what they need to do to succeed?
Yeah, I love it. Great question, because I will tell you, embrace the training programs and focus in on the people and give it 110%. I would tell you, what you put in is what you get out. So if you give 100%, I don't care if this is Pearle or anything else out there that you might be looking for. I know it's common sense, but people just don't do it. You need to invest in your people. You need to invest in training, and you need to invest in the process and system. And that's why I'm so proud of Pearle and what we have accomplished in a short period of time with our full-service supply chain icon. It really, truly allows those franchisees, as you heard me say before, to grow their business from 1 store to 3 stores to 5 stores. We have an operator out there that has 60 locations now, but they must invest in their people. They must embrace the process and systems that we put into play, and that will help them become more successful.
Is there anything on the horizon, new exciting plans for Pearle Vision that you want to break on this podcast?
Yeah, I know, and I know the people from Pearle would probably kill me if I said maybe 2 months, too much. But and I have a tendency to talk too much about it. But next month we'll be announcing a new program that deepens our commitment to corporate philanthropy and global vision care with a nonprofit one site. So we want to give back to community. Dr. Stanley Pearle always wanted to give back to the community, and we here at Pearle are going to take that to the next level, and you'll hear more information about that next month and what that looks like.
We can't wait. Awesome. Well, this podcast might be released next month, so
it'll
yeah.
All right, so now, Josh, if you're ready, we want to play some franchise fun with you.
Cue the music.
Fun music.
It'll be there.
Oh, God.
So I'm just going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and then if you would just respond with quick 1-word or 2-word responses.
Sure.
All right. The most interesting thing I've done recently is?
Traveling in South Dakota. Visiting a franchisee. You said 1 word, right? Traveling in South Dakota. All right, I've already screwed up the game. Can we start again?
What?
You're talking to New York. I don't know if I can say 1 word. All right.
Why was South Dakota so interesting?
It's funny. We have a franchisee out there that really helped build this brand, and we actually had a one site in Minneapolis, and we stopped by. The leadership team stopped by to see him, and it resonated with me on how pleased he was to see the leadership team and what he's doing and how he's working with his son now, who's a doctor that's working in the business. And it just makes you feel great of what he's able to do and what I'm seeing other franchisees are doing. So we just recently did that, and it stands out. South Dakota as a place that puts a smile on my face, at least, with Kevin Lair out there and what he's doing with his son.
Cool.
Very cool.
In its best form, work is?
Fun.
A good franchisee is?
Passionate.
A good franchisor is?
Listens.
The most important thing in life is?
Family.
My favorite drink is?
Bourbon. All right, I went to alcohol. Maybe I should have done that.
I think you're the only guest we've ever had that mentioned an alcoholic beverage.
I think so too.
So good for you. Good for you.
Great. I'll have HR give me a call. Good for you.
Canadian franchising is?
Exciting.
The key to success is?
Hard work.
I'd like my friends to describe me as?
Fun.
And finally, one necessary item on my life's to-do list is?
Travel.
Sorry, there was one more question. Can you redefine failure?
And I don't think there is something that's called failure. I have failed in many of the things I have done, and that's just a learning process for me to help me course correct. I mean, if you don't fail, that means you're not taking risks. I would like to see people, my kids, myself, take risks, and if you fail, that's okay. Let's just learn from that and move on.
Awesome
Great answer.
Really good answer.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
You made it fun. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to learn more, visit franchisecanada.online. And if you're interested in the franchise opportunity, go to lookforfranchise.ca.